Imagine a shining city rising from the waters of a great lake. Temples crowned in gold, markets echoing with thousands of voices, warriors painted for battle, priests raising their hands to the gods. This was Tenochtitlan, the jewel of the Aztec Empire. An empire that believed its glory would last forever. But within 2 years, everything would collapse. Temples would burn, warriors would fall, and an empire would vanish beneath the weight of blood, gold, and betrayal. The glory of Tenochtitlan. In the early 16th century, Tenochtitlan was one of the largest cities on Earth. Built in the middle of Lake Texcoco, it was a wonder of engineering. Canals, causeways, bridges, and marketplaces, larger than anything Europe had ever seen. Over 200,000 people lived within its walls. Merchants traded cacao, obsidian, feathers, and salt. Warriors patrolled the streets, proud and disciplined. Priests climbed the great pyramids to perform rituals, sometimes involving human sacrifice. To the Aztecs, blood fed the gods, and without it, the sun itself might fail to rise. The city shone with art, music, and vibrant life. To its people, it felt eternal. But beyond the horizon, destiny was approaching. The arrival of the Spanish. In 1519, Hernán Cortés landed on the coast of Mexico with just 600 men, a few horses, and a handful of cannons. To the Aztecs, these strangers seemed otherworldly. Horses had never been seen before in the Americas. Muskets and steel swords glimmered like lightning. There was also a prophecy. The god Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, was said to return from the east. Some whispered that these pale-skinned men might be divine messengers or gods themselves. Cortés marched inland, gathering allies, spreading both awe and terror. And every step brought him closer to the heart of the Aztec world. Moctezuma's dilemma. Moctezuma II, the emperor of the Aztecs, faced an impossible choice. Should he destroy these invaders before they grew stronger? Or were they truly the gods foretold by prophecy? He hesitated. He sent gifts of gold and silver, hoping to satisfy them, or perhaps test their nature. But these gifts only revealed the empire's wealth and fueled the Spaniards' hunger. Eventually, Moctezuma invited Cortés into Tenochtitlan itself. The Spaniards entered the shining city in awe, but behind their admiration burned greed and ambition, and behind Moctezuma's welcome lay fear. The betrayals. The Aztec Empire had many enemies. For generations, it had demanded tribute, conquered neighbors, and taken prisoners for sacrifice. Cortés exploited this. The Tlaxcalans and other tribes allied with the Spanish, bringing tens of thousands of native warriors to his side. The Aztecs, once the masters of central Mexico, now stood surrounded by betrayal. In the city, unrest grew. The people whispered that Moctezuma was weak. He had allowed strangers into the very heart of the empire, and soon those whispers turned to rebellion. La Noche Triste, the Night of Tears. In June of 1520, the city erupted in revolt. Aztec warriors attacked the Spanish garrison, cutting off their escape routes. The Spaniards tried to flee by night, carrying bags of gold across the causeways. But the bridges collapsed under the weight. Thousands drowned in the lake, dragged down by their greed. The waters of Lake Texcoco glittered with spilled treasure and blood. Cortés barely escaped with his life. He would call this night La Noche Triste, the night of sorrows. But sorrow soon hardened into vengeance. He would return. The return and the siege. Cortés regrouped. He rallied his native allies, now numbering in the tens of thousands. When he returned to Tenochtitlan in 1521, he was stronger than ever. But the city he found was already weakened. A new and invisible enemy had arrived, smallpox. Brought by the Europeans, the disease swept through the Aztec population. Entire families perished. Priests, warriors, even generals fell. The empire's strength withered. The siege began. Bridges were destroyed, food supplies cut off. Hunger gnawed at the people. Still, the Aztecs fought with courage, refusing to yield. The fall of Tenochtitlan. The final battle was apocalyptic. Spanish cannons roared, native allies stormed the city, streets filled with smoke, fire, and screams. Aztec warriors fought desperately, defending their temples stone by stone. But their numbers dwindled. Their weapons could not match steel. Their gods fell silent as the city bled. On August 13, 1521, Tenochtitlan fell. Moctezuma was dead. The empire was no more. The legacy of the Aztecs. On the ruins of Tenochtitlan, the Spaniards built a new city, Mexico City. Churches replaced temples. Spanish palaces rose where Aztec pyramids had once stood. Yet the Aztecs did not vanish. Their language, Nahuatl, still echoes in Mexico today. Their art, their myths, their spirit endure. Even in destruction, their memory survives. The fall of the Aztecs was more than conquest. It was the collision of two worlds, one ancient, one new. It was blood spilled for gold, betrayal sealed with fire, and a civilization buried beneath its own greatness. But the Aztecs were never truly lost. Their echoes still whisper through the streets of modern Mexico City, reminding us that history is never silent. If you were moved by the story of the Aztecs, remember, history holds countless more secrets. Subscribe now and join us as we uncover the echoes of the past.